Hello. Hey, I would just like to show you a recent addition to the NDS platform. It's called multitasking. So for right now, I'm going to just go to recent items and bring in a lactation recipe. And what I want to do is just work with the multitasking, which is a new feature in NDS, to look at the options of working with an existing diet and looking at maybe making some multiple changes to that diet and being able to do it on one screen with several different versions of the same recipe. So I'm pulling up a current recipe and I'm looking at the recipe screen, and the multitasking tab is located right here on the screen. And so as I'm clicking that, what will be loaded now is the current recipe that's in the recipe screen is now loaded into this multitasking manager. And from here I can see my ingredients, the as fed dry matter pounds. Here's the intake as fed dry matter pounds, forage, NDF intake as a percent of body weight, the UNDF intake. Here are some economic numbers surrounding that diet. And if I go and click there on the right mouse click in that orange header, I can decide to remove any of these if I would like to just look at more of a simplified list in the economic area. I can also go to the nutrients that are shown, and I can modify this in any method I would like, or I can also go to any of the parameters that I have previously set up, whether it be the parameters around a fresh cow, high cow, or late cow, and those can all be done within the utilities of the program, and those we have probably discussed earlier in other tutorials. But I can actually modify this list, and then down below in the CNCPS output area, here is the standard CNCPS output that I have modified my computer to show, my version of NDS. And of course, if I right mouse click, I can have different options to show in this recipe list. Now what I can do right from here is to right mouse click on version 1, and I can add a new version in here. What it does is it brings in the same recipe as another version. From here, I could decide, as the producer and I talked, or as I looked at inventory on the dairy, I'm able to get rid of the sorghum silage now, and maybe I can come up here and feed the corn silage as all of my forage inventory. That way I'm going to compare, in my situation, apples to apples. I can see that my crude protein went from 16.3 to 16.2. I can see as I scroll down over here, I can look and see that my NDF went from 30.77 to 29.5. Again, my starch went from 26 to 27. My milk production has gone from 83 and 84 now to 86 and 88. Maybe what I want to do is then to look at adding another version of the original and saying, well, what would happen if I had to go to 15.5 on my forage, corn silage dry matter, and 4.8 on my silage inventory. And then again, I can run down and look at all the parameters here and then look at what milk production does. I can continue on by even taking a version of this recipe, and now I have duplicated that version, and maybe what I need to do is make some adjustments here, 2.6 here and 9.3 here. So again, what I'm doing is just using this real-time screen to let the computer do a little multitasking within recipes here. Again, if I wanted to go up to 11.12 on corn and 2.68, trying to just keep things very simple for our demonstration, what I can do is I can look at doing different scenarios of those recipes. And again, if I wanted to go to the original and add a new version here of the original, I can do that also. And again, it's similar to the exact replication of the first one. And in here, if I want to make some adjustments here, and I could have easily done this with the custom lactation custom open if I wanted to at that time. There's some overall features over here. I can look at the feed cost of all the ingredients in there. I can even change the animal inputs. So let us look at the animal inputs. So in my fourth scenario, what would happen if my butterfat went to 3.5 and protein went to 3.1? And then I can go back to feed amounts. And then once that occurs, from my fifth version here, I'm back to 85 and 82, reflecting that I had less butterfat, so more energy available, had more milk protein being created, and it gives me less MP milk equation here. So again, I can go back to animal inputs, do some report options. The animal inputs, changing environment will give you that effect also. When you decide which one of these you would like, you have the option to right mouse click on this and bring this new version in a new tab. You could remove any version you want. Once I click this, I would, if I use this option, get the version as a new recipe. This will override or overwrite the version 1 that we brought in. So what I'd like to do is get the new version in a tab, in a new tab, and that will bring the version 1 with the same recipe name as this lactation barn 1 and 2 with the date, and it would say version 3 or version 4 on there, and it would appear in the recipe tab. But this function has been talked about, and we just released it. It's called multitasking. So just wanted a quick introduction to that. I think we'll just go ahead and put this up on some social media and introduce it to people. But I just wanted to show you what that was going to look like, and just show you some new things that the programmers are doing inside of NDS and some of the options that they're working on for the users. So with that, I will start working on my version 4 recipe within my ration in my recipe screen. And Again, just a little flavor for what's going on at the NDS platform. Thanks a lot for your time.